Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to yet another episode reaction for ReZero. Today we are checking out episode number 20. Can you believe it? Episode number 20 of season 2. It feels like we just started season 2 not that long ago and we're already on episode number 20. I find that absolutely mind-blowing. I honestly can't wrap my mind around it. But here we are. We are deep into the season. Things are going in a very interesting direction because we're getting to experience all these flashbacks, and I am absolutely loving it. I am lapping this shit up so hard because I love learning about these characters, about everything that they've experienced in the past, especially when the world of ReZero has such a storied past. Like, the history in this series is huge and we're only getting little glimpses now of it, whereas season 1 we knew next to nothing about some of these characters. And yeah, this one we're gonna hopefully learn about Beatrice, we're gonna learn about Ryuzu, we're gonna learn about Roswaal. I feel like this happened not that long ago as well, I had to say this, but if I sound like I'm talking a little weird, I was on the treadmill this morning and I bit the back of my tongue, so it is very sore and difficult to speak, but I can't skip a day of recording, because if I don't record today, there will be no extra episode of ReZero this week, and I don't want that. I'm sure you guys don't want that. I want to check out this episode just as much as you guys hopefully want to watch this reaction, but we are going to check this one out. I really don't know what we're going to see in this episode. We're going to learn about the existence of the sanctuary, why it exists, probably more than that too, but there's probably going to be some real important shit within this episode, so why don't we just dive right into this one so we can just find out what it is. So yeah, if you guys enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and comment down below letting me know which of these flashback episodes has been your favorite from the series, and yeah, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when episodes like this will go live in the channel, episode reactions that is, and other series that I'm checking out. We've got This Summer Hikaru Died, of course, and of course there's sometimes going to be opening endings videos, stuff like that. There's something else that I'm trying to record in the meantime, I just haven't had the time, but yeah, I've got some ideas for things that are coming, and if you guys want to be notified when those videos do go live, hit the notification bell, and yeah, share this with someone who you think enjoys or might enjoy reaction content to ReZero. And yeah, let's just dive right into this one. This might be a shorter recording than usual because it is very, very difficult to speak. But yeah, episode number 20 of ReZero Season 2. Let's go. Before I actually start the episode, I want to just throw an idea out that I literally just had regarding Ryuzu, because it's really interesting that, you know, we're going to be seeing about the creation and the existence, the reason for the sanctuary, but it's really interesting that this sanctuary is created so that those that are half beasts cannot leave, or like, you know, the whole demi-human, whatever it is. It's interesting that this place was created and the only character we've been introduced to in that flashback with Beatrice that fits that bill is Ryuzu. So was this place created for her? We'll find out more, but other characters have obviously wound up here and have not been able to leave, so maybe there's more to it. But let's find out what Echidna's deal is with these demi-humans. Starting with Roswaal. This does not look good. Clutching his chest, this black and white filter make this look aged. A grave illness. Shit, what's wrong with him? Who are you? He asks. Aren't you from the Mather's family? Yep, he knows. That blush, the only color we see. Very Schindler's List-esque. Shit. Wow, he used to be a shitter noober. Ew, what the hell? Is this her putting something inside him? Echidna? 少しは楽になったかな。マナを直接吸い出しただけだよ。マナ？君のそれは病ではない。発巻というものだ。Ah, he's on his period. He's menstruating. Damn, this actually was a relevant plot point from Memory Snow. That's crazy. I thought that was just a throwaway thing that we'd never hear of again. He's got so much mana, he's so powerful, he needs to expel it once it builds up too much. Occasionally. Damn, I don't like that. That was really weird, Echidna. What the hell was that? Romance. So he is in love. At least back then. Who knows how he feels now? Beatrice just can't catch a break. So suffer! Oh shit. He's the head of the family now. Someone that she can manipulate. That's true, that's true. Lukewarm look in your eyes. We see that Betty's disliking of Roswaal goes all the way back 400 years ago. Psh, tough chance. Yeah. What happened that day? Yes. Psh. Roswaal cares about you, Ryuzu? She wasn't being mean, right? Betty? Mean? Never. The doors. Yin magic? What is yin magic? Is that another word for the shadow? Yang magic? There's yin and yang magic now? Opposite? He sounds very Subaru with the way he's talking to her. Ew. So someone needs to beat your ass. I wonder what that book is. So Ryuzu had it first. That it certainly does. The teacher of the... I don't know. It would be very easy. Beatrice is just that good. She's gonna learn. If you insist, I have no choice. That's so funny. You're a lucky girl. The way Beatrice speaks really goes to show you how she really feels, because she really wants that companionship, but she's so hard-headed. Oh? He is here. Who is this? Flugel, perhaps? What are we gonna do? Who is this guy? To an extent. The theory. Ryuzu, she sacrifices herself to be the barrier. If you take her out of that crystal, is that it? Actually, no. That's just a bullshit theory. We know that the barrier is because the trials. Never mind. Maybe, actually.
結界の核として君が機能する可能性は高
The
い。
core.
ただし君のマナと土地がもっと馴染むのを待った後だ。
今はまだできないのですね。
So that explains why the other Ryuzu didn't want to take, like, yeah, because it was going against what the original Ryuzu wanted. Yeah, it's cruel.
お二人はきっ
She's
と何とかす
putting
る
her
方
own
法
foot
をお持ちなん
forward.
ですよね。
Ah, she's too good. She's such a pure soul.
その時間の恩返しができるなら、私の生きた意味はそこにあるのだと思うのです。
君のオドを触媒に聖域の核を作り上げる。
There it is.
そうすれば工程を短縮し結界を機能させることができるだろう。
Even
それで聖域
Echidna
は救われますか？
was
今の脅
hesitating.
威を退けることは可能なはずだ。
The way we're not seeing Roswaal or Echidna's eyes as well, it's really going out of its way not to show their
ベ
eyes.
アトリスに準備させている。あとは術式を構築する時間さえ稼げれば。
Well, not Roswaal so much, but Echidna's. Because it doesn't want to show her with that look on her face.
そのことに感謝をしても恨むことなんて何もありません。
先生は結界の準備とベアトリスを呼び戻してください。
ベアトリスには知らせない方がいいんじゃないか。
Really?
今ここでベアトリスを呼ばなかったら僕も先生も一生あの子に恨まれますよ。
Well, she certainly hates you forever, Roswaal. So what, you give her this task, Echidna? To reside over the library and wait for the one? Damn, it's really not showing Echidna's eyes at all here. Which is interesting because this is maybe the first time we're seeing true, like, emotion from her. And, oh shit, it's purposely creating a barrier and blocking us from seeing that. Bro hasn't slept in years. Oh, I recognize that voice. Is that Sukuna's voice actor? So distraught. The worst of the worst of the worst. What is happening here? We know Roswaal is insanely powerful, so how is this a character we've never heard of before? Oh, there it is. Distracted. Devil of Melancholy.
限られた選択肢から今の自分を選んだのはお前だ。被害者ぶった顔をするな。憂鬱の魔人
Hector? Jeez, not the most normal name of all time, Hector. Jeez, he is getting his ass beat. Never thought I'd see the day. Splattered, yeah. The witch.
お前の弟子は己を足止めしてけなげに時間稼ぎを果たしたさ。
Oh, ha! I know what you are.
変わらないな。
Are you the one that changed Roswaal?
お前の口の聞き方も相変わらずなってない。
I thought your clothing looked a bit eccentric like Roswaal's.
ほうけてないでお母様が時間を稼いでくれている間に動くのよ。
This is true.
ですが、
It's time to get you in this crystal. Unless the crystal came after because she wanted to bring him back. No, it is literally the crystal. That's crazy. So what if you break her out? Do the trials end?
見られるんじゃないのよ。
申し訳ありません。こんな時に。
お母様からはお前をここに連れてこいとしか聞かされてないの
Oh,
よ。
will she know what to do herself?
ベティにとってお母様は絶対。
Absolute. I wonder how she
お前や
feels
ここの
now.
住人たちは恵まれているのよ。無事にこれが片付いた後、せいぜい働きで報いるかしら。
She won't be able to work. It's just gonna be clones.
お前、なんだか嫌な顔で笑っているのよ。
She's feeling a lot, yeah. This is the last time she's
申し訳ありません。
gonna be herself.
目にゴミが。
It's a terrifying moment.
ベティがお母様に加勢してくるのよ。死にかけのロズワールのやつも助けてやらんといけないかしら。
ベアトリー様、大変長い間お世話になりました。ここでお
Aww.
別れです。
Look at that barrier between them. They've literally got this
この
big
施設
ass
には森に結界を
gap.
張り巡らせる準備がされています。私を核と
Speaking
し
of
て
barrier.
時間をかけて結界を。
Aww.
でも その時間が足りなくなってしまいました。そのための聖域で
The spacing between them with this big crystal between them is really great visual storytelling.
救えないと分かっていたから、私はそのためにこの身を捧げます。
Aww.
バカなことを言うんじゃないのよ。
This is Betty's first real
魔法
friend.
のことも何も知らないお前に何ができるっていうかしら。お前には
Which is making me wonder now why the trials are necessary.
お母様に直談判してくるかしら。お母様はベティに甘いし、きっと聞いてくれ。そんな時間はありません。お母様とベティが一緒なら、あんなやつイチコロかしら。
Aww.
ベティの扉渡りでみんなここから逃げてしまえばいいのよ。あんまり大勢だとベティも大変だけど、そのぐらいやってのけるのよ。隙
Betty.
を見てロズワールを拾ってお母様も連れ出すかしら。ほら、これで。
Oh, the little smile, but the shake of the head. It's not gonna work.
また追われることに怯えて生きるんで
That's
すか。
yeah,
エ
that's
キドナ様やロズワール様のおかげで、ようやく手に入れた安寧の地。
so is this place only doesn't let
暮らせて本当に良かったと思ってい
them
ます。
leave because of
ここ
her
で暮らす
odd?
みんなの笑顔が大好きです。
She's such a sweet, pure soul.
ここで私たちが過ごした時間の全部が始まりのままだったはずがありません。
There, we're
私が
getting
こ
to
こで過ごして
see everyone else, so
ベアトリス
yeah.
様とお話ししたことも
Uh,
みんな私が私で選んだことだったんですから、私は何もなくしてなんかいません。
you've gained a
も
lot.
らったもの全部抱えたままです。ここで過ごせて幸せでした。
Aw, and you want to keep it, yeah.
その時間を守るために引きます。
But now the people want to leave.
甘いもの食べ過ぎないように注意してくださいね。
読み書きを教える約束が。
Aw, a promise. There's no longer anything between them. They're on the same page.
ありがとう。
That's really sad. Poor Beatrice.
さよなら、ベティ。
Man, what went wrong? Where did the warped
俺の聞いた全
meaning
て
of
だ。
it all go?
その話が真実だとして、それがどうしたというんだい？
屋敷に向かわせた連中を止めろ。それで何もかも手打ちにできる。
断るよ、スバル君。この程度の変化に折れるほど、私の400年は軽くはない。
They're gonna have to
あれ
go
だ
to
け
the
威勢よく
mansion.
よそ者に噛みついていた君が、今やスバル君と愉快な仲間たちの一員だ。
Nah.
その変わり身の速さには驚かされるよ。
てめえの言葉カリーナ・ロザール。
Nothing carries any weight, bozo.
これまで10年の月日、こだわり続けてきた思い、それをたやすく手放す君が私に軽いとは、出来の悪い。
Oh, he's getting into you. He is ripping
家
you.
族を本当に愛していたのなら、
Jeez.
そんなに愛していたのなら、そんなにたやすく変わってしまうものなのか？
He's trying to piss you off. Don't fall for it. Don't snap. Don't let him get under your skin.
勘違いすんじゃねえ。俺様は別に喧嘩に負けたってだけで大将についたわけじゃねえ。
My boss.
俺様は10年ずっと過去にこだわってた。その過去と
Yep, there it is. He faced
過去と
the
相対し
past.
たと。君が
けどな、一個だけ俺様がてめえじゃなく大将につく気になった決定的な理由を
Because he's not an asshole.
弱え弱えそのまんまでいろって言われるより、
Mm.
お前は強いから必要だって言われ
That's crazy. That's really funny.
だよ。いや、なんでもね。頼りにしてるぜ。変わらないまま。あいつは変わったんだよ。
He changed without
お前だっ
changing.
て同じだ。
He's the same person, he just has a different
同じ
outlook.
方向を向いてくれさえすれば、一緒にやっていける。今ならまだ引き返せる。
優位は依然私の側にある。そのただ人である君に何ができる？何もできはしない。できるものか。
Oh.
人並み以下のお前に何ができる？
Less than ordinary.
刻み込んだ思いは誰にも侵されざる聖域だ。何人たりともそれは変えられない。
Jeez.
私の400年がただ人のお前に覆されることなどあってたまるものか。
Jeez, Roswaal.
どう してお前は思うことの弱さばっかり見てるんだ。誰かをずっと思い続けることが強い気持ちだって分かってるのに、どうしてその弱さばっかり見ようとするんだよ。
私がそれを信じているからだ。お前が誰かの強さを信じて期待するように、私は誰もが弱いままだと信じているからだ。弱くて脆くてたった一つの大切なものにすがる以外。
Is that because you were weak once upon a time and things happened?
そう信じているからだ。
And so you just look at weakness rather than strength? Shut up.
日々よりずっと長く、あの別れの日に心が粉々に砕かれたまま、私は何も変わっていない。記述の一部が食い違おうと、それでどうなる。私と君にとって肝心要の一人が残り続ける限り、勝負は終わらない。
エミリアを見くびるなよ。
Absolutely.
あの子はもうお前の思惑通りにはならない。
夜べをなくし、自分の抱える後悔に押しつぶされ、変わ
That's not
る
true.
なんて体毛を抱いたことを悔やみ、泣きじゃくって君にすがる。
You don't know her.
あんな下手くそな泣き方する女、俺は一遍も見たことねえや。
傷つけて貶められる、それがハーフエルフの宿命
The
だ。
fate of the half-elf?
人の魔女と同じ執事は生まれながら
The
に背負った
same lineage as the Witch of
魔女
Envy.
と蔑まれる必然だよ。
Oh, same lineage. Or does he just mean the fact that she's half-elf? Yep. She can be herself. She can feel the things that she feels. That's what you're here for, Subaru. Nah. Wow, we haven't seen him do the pose in so long. The knight! Self-proclaimed knight, of course. Otto's little proud smile. That she is. Nah, 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 nah.
思い人に理想を強要するという意味でね。
お前は弱さ、俺は強さを信じる。
Oh, this face to face right here. They are not like whatsoever. Roswaal, you suck. Screw you. The beginning of the Sanctuary and the beginning of the end? We're heading into the finale of this arc? Oh, Amelia. You're so sweet. I swear, if she goes out right now and there is a bunch of bunny rabbits, I'm going to flip my shit. Okay, Ram, good. Oh, but Ram. Can we trust you? And that was episode number 20 of season 2 ReZero. I really do apologize. I don't think I'm going to talk for long here because I am really struggling to talk here. It was hard getting through that episode with my tongue. It is really sore. I don't even know how I ended up biting it on the treadmill. I was just doing my thing. I wasn't like doing anything weird, so like I wasn't talking or anything. So yeah, I guess the treadmill is my biggest op right now, but yeah, I do apologize. This episode was amazing. It was a really great deeper insight into everything that went on within the Sanctuary. What my favorite thing about this episode was getting to see an almost human side of Echidna. My favorite way that they showcased that human side was by not showing us that human side. It's a really great technique that they used where they purposely positioned certain objects covering the whole upper half of her face. She was just staring down and you could see almost like an emotion on her face that wasn't an emotion that she was conjuring up, you know, like she wasn't in control. There was something happening that she didn't really want, but that she was going to have to deal with. So she had a certain emotion on her face, one of sadness, and that was not being shown to us. We were not being shown her weakness. I think that that's really interesting that the creator of this series, or maybe it's not even the creator, maybe it was literally just White Fox's direction, purposely decided not to show us that emotion. And it's definitely doing a great job of keeping that idea of Echidna in our minds, of being this hardened person who shows no emotion and only cares for herself, is only out for herself. But we saw a different side of that here. We saw a deeper side to her character, and I actually loved it so much because Echidna, for me, I loved watching her on screen. She was such a fun, batshit insane character with so much charisma. I love her, but it was hard to get behind her in any kind of way. There was no sign of any empathy, sympathy for others, and it was just really difficult to kind of care for her, the character. So now that we're seeing here that she had a lot of these things that shaped and maybe warped the way she views things, it definitely gives her a deeper character, and it gives me more perspective perhaps into the way she is. And with that, we got to see a deeper side to Roswaal, a Roswaal that is not insane. And I wonder if this insanity comes from Hector, because Hector looks like he's wearing very flamboyant kind of clothing, and I did honestly think that when he showed up the first time, when they were just kind of mentioning he's coming, I was like, oh, those clothes choices look somewhat familiar, but I should have said it then, because that was literally my first thought when I saw him. We see that Roswaal and Echidna, as well as Beatrice and Ryuzu, all seem to be a pretty tight-knit group. They seem to be very close, and they have a great relationship with one another. And that's what makes it really heartbreaking then when they all have to kind of split up. They all kind of have to, you know, experience these hardships that are coming their way from the devil of melancholy, Hector. Melancholy, I'm guessing, is another of the sins. Within only a small handful of episodes, we've been introduced to a vanity and a melancholy. So what makes these guys so different and so special and so powerful? They seem to be insanely OP. Like, I don't know what it is, but this guy was throwing Roswaal around like he was nothing. And we know that Roswaal is just as powerful, or has the potential, I guess, of being as powerful back then as he is now, because he is also menstruating when he meets Echidna for the first time at the very beginning of the episode. He is going through that menstruation period for his mana, and this is something we know about from Memory Snow. I genuinely thought it was just for jokes, it was just for laughs, and it would never show up again, but no, it's actually a plot point within the series, and it's very important because it's the plot point in which Echidna and Roswaal meet, and where Echidna basically forces herself onto Roswaal, and Roswaal falls in love with her. So Echidna says she sucked out the mana. So that's crazy, because that's a lot of mana potential within him that she sucked out, and she's able to withhold that. She can maintain that and keep that within herself, or maybe it's that she hasn't reached that menstruation period for herself. It feels weird saying menstruation period, but you know what I mean, because it's literally a plot point within this series, plot element, I guess. Maybe she hasn't reached that point, so she's got the potential to store up more mana so she can withhold it, or maybe there's just something different about other people's mana. I don't know, but it's reminding me of, I guess, when Beatrice was able to kind of drain Subaru's mana all the way back in season 1. So that's two characters we've met now that are able to do that, but Echidna doesn't drain the mana, she just sucks out the extra, so that he's not going through these feelings, he's not feeling hurt, pain, or like he's dying or whatever. So yeah, who would have thought that menstruation would actually show up again within this series? I made a joke when I watched this series, or watched Memory Snow within the Discord group that I'm in with Pinesino and Mish and, you know, some other friends. I made a joke saying something along the lines of, I'm sure this is going to be super important going forward, or something like that, and it was literally just one of them saying menstruation, because I thought that it was just for that OVA. I thought that it was just for jokes. So yeah, that's crazy. The fact that it's now in the series proper. I'm not sure why we had to watch Echidna shoving her tongue into Roswaal's mouth. It was creepy. It was weird. I think it's supposed to feel that way. I don't think anyone watching this scene would feel, you know, any kind of arousal or anything. Like, it's weird. I don't like it at all, and it feels forced. It feels, well, not forced, but forceful. Like, she is forcing herself on him, so it feels ugh, you know, like, ugh, ugh. So then after they had their moment, it cuts to the scene then when they are in this cabin, which follows up where we left off back a couple episodes ago when we were following Beatrice and Ryuzu. They ended up in this cabin together, and Betty and Roswaal very clearly don't. Well, Roswaal likes Betty, but Betty clearly does not like Roswaal this early on. She is jabbing with him, you know, her words and everything, but at the same time, it's reminding me a lot of the Subaru and Betty relationship, where maybe it's not so much that she dislikes him, but that she is unwilling to admit that she doesn't dislike him, because she's very hard-headed and stubborn, and it's only when, you know, there's this kind of threat of the potential of her being left alone that she starts to react. And we saw that with Ryuzu at the end, where she has been very hard-headed and stubborn with regards to Ryuzu throughout this flashback, but then right at the end, it's when she has this moment of like, don't leave me, basically, like, don't go, don't do this, you should stay here, you should be able to continue, I haven't even taught you to read yet, you know, like, the switch up is very, very abundantly clear. And I think it's really interesting that Roswaal was reminding me a lot of Subaru here. It really goes to show that whole we are the same idea that Roswaal has, where we see that Roswaal, the way he interacts with Beatrice back here, is very reminiscent of the way Subaru acts with Beatrice. So it's like there were two paths for Roswaal, and he could have gone either one, and he went the bad route, whereas Subaru's going the good route. So they started the same, but they're going in different ways, and this really helped to further emphasize that and blow that up a bit more and like make it obvious. So there's now yin and yang magic within the series. I don't know if that's kind of like light magic and shadow magic, like that's just another way of describing them, because Roswaal and Beatrice, obviously yin and yang are kind of like opposites and, you know, existing within harmony and everything like that. So the fact that Beatrice uses yin magic and Roswaal uses yang magic shows just how different they are. They are not similar in any sense. They are complete opposites of one another, but they're both needed for some sort of balance, some sort of harmony. And then we have a really sweet scene where Beatrice says she will teach Ryuzu how to read and write. And the way that this is done is really cute, because it's yet again showing Beatrice's way of coming across, where she comes across very hard-headed and stubborn, but she actually craves this companionship and craves being close with someone, because she acts all like, you know, oh, read and write, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then Ryu's like, oh, so you won't teach me then, basically? And she's like, I never said I wouldn't teach you. It would be easy. So she very clearly wants to do this, but she won't admit it. She would rather just go in circles with her riddles. And after this, where Beatrice is like, you're such a lucky girl, she senses that mother is calling, and she runs off and calls Roswaal because she wants Roswaal, and there's just panic suddenly. So Roswaal and Ryuzu then end up in a room in the cabin with Echidna, and this is kind of where everything starts to go wrong, because Roswaal says he senses that he is on his way. He is here. And Echidna saying that there's basically not enough time. We have to try and figure out how to do the sanctuary. Theoretically, it's possible. We figured it out, but we're just going to have to go ahead and do it. And they need some sort of catalyst, something to help boost a barrier within or around the sanctuary. So we see very clearly that this barrier and this sanctuary was created with the purpose of keeping everyone safe. I don't know why I truly honestly believed that that would not be the case here, because everything we knew about Echidna up to this point was that she experimented. She wasn't exactly out to do things for other people, so I didn't think she cared to keep other people safe. I genuinely didn't think that would be the case. I'm pretty surprised that that is the reason for the existence of the sanctuary. It goes to show the humanity and the good side of her. As she said at the beginning of this episode, she's an evil witch who sometimes does good things, and this is certainly one of those good things. So Ryuzu puts herself forward and says she will be the core for this barrier. And she knows what that means. They know what that means. And so they're shocked to hear her say this. And then they look pretty saddened when she continues to talk and explain that she understands everything. She knows what it means. And she will do it anyway. She wants to protect these people. She thanks them both. And she thanks them for everything they've done for her. And she just continues to say basically this is her way of repaying that, is how it seems. So yeah, it's just very frustratingly sad to see that this is how it has to go because of one guy. So Beatrice is called back and Roswaal goes to fight Hector. Another thing, Hector? Really? Hector is the name that they settled on? Hector? Like, come on. Hector? Really? They had a list of literally any name they could have gone with and they go with Hector. I'm sure there's reason for it, but I'm just surprised to hear such a normal sounding name within this series. I know that there's a character called Beatrice and there are others like, Anastasia, but Hector? Hector's beating up Roswaal. Roswaal's losing very dramatically. Like, he is losing really poorly here. He's not exactly putting up much of a fight, Roswaal. He's just kind of taking the beating, and it's only when Hector realizes that there's someone in the little hut that he goes to turn his attention to that, and that would have been Ryuzu, and he would have killed her. But Roswaal immediately acts out then and sends magic, a big fireball, Algoa, right at Hector. And Hector does not take that well, and he continues to pound down on Roswaal. Blood is everywhere. He's got this big dent in his back. And yeah, it looks like Roswaal has been completely overpowered here. Like, there's no battle whatsoever. It's over so fast. Hector does like the thing that Roswaal always does. So that's another reason I'm thinking that this is someone related to what ends up happening to Roswaal when he goes insane. Echidna, who I presume was off fixing and getting the sanctuary barrier crystal ready, suddenly shows up then because she must have finished that. She's getting ready to fight with Hector, and we don't get to see that fight, sadly. And then that's when we get the main final scene of the episode where Betty and Ryuzu go to this place together, and Betty is very much being her normal self, kind of like bratty. And it's not until she realizes that Ryuzu is going to sacrifice herself for this place, she's giving her life up, that Beatrice's demeanor and the way she is speaking completely changes. She does not want Ryuzu to do this, and that is a huge part of her character. She is continually seeing people come and go out of her life. She is never able to really be free. She is just kind of tethered to Echidna, right? I love the visual storytelling with having them on either side of the crystal, with the crystal acting as this big barrier between the two of them. And that's, exactly what happens 400 years down the line. She is in the crystal, and this crystal acts as a barrier to get to her. Ryuzu is on one side of like, I will do this, I know what I need to do, and Beatrice is on the other side of, don't do this, I don't want you to do it. But they're not exactly saying those words as explicitly as that. And Ryuzu starts to thank Beatrice again for everything, thanking her for the time that they spent together, making it obvious that she chose and wanted to spend that time with Beatrice. And it wasn't like an order, it wasn't anything like that. She made those decisions to spend that time with Beatrice. I think it's a great way of telling Beatrice that, like, hey, I wanted to spend time with you, I like you. And Beatrice is just in absolute disbelief that this is going to happen. She cannot believe it. This is someone that she was getting close to, even though she was very hard-headed. But she clearly had those feelings of wanting to get to know Ryuzu better, wanting to call her a friend perhaps. She tells Beatrice not to eat too many sweets, and then Beatrice asks her about reading, says, I made a promise to you that I would teach you to read, and I have not been able to do that yet. And Ryuzu's just, she just has to go. She goes and she activates the barrier, and she sacrifices her life essentially in order to do this. And you could kind of look at this in the sense that maybe Echidna was setting Ryuzu up this way, that she knew that eventually Ryuzu would act as this barrier. But it's heartbreaking because even when push comes to shove, it doesn't seem like Echidna wanted this to happen. But then there's also there's no guaranteeing or proof that this was something that Echidna was setting up for eventually. But one can only assume that that was the case. Subaru and Roswaal have another battle of core beliefs, I guess, where we learn that Roswaal sees everyone as weak. Everyone is as weak as ever. They don't get strong, they stay weak. Whereas Subaru sees everyone as strong and sees the strength in people. So it's yin and yang right there. They see completely different things in other people, and they are completely different people. But Roswaal continues to say that they are the same, and that's simply because both of them try to push their ideals on the women they love. And of course Roswaal is in love with Echidna, but Roswaal tries to, you know, get people like Garfield to snap, basically, you know, hammering in on his family. You know, you don't love your family doesn't love you, just all this bullshit. It seems like he's trying to get a rise out of Garfield, but Garfield simply steps up and says, hey, you said I was weak, he says I'm strong. Guess who I'm going to follow and guess who I'm going to listen to? And yeah, Garfield, I really am going to enjoy getting to see him get closer to Subaru and grow within his role and just be a character that we get to see much more going forward. I'm really excited for that. And Roswaal is very frustrated throughout this entire scene, and it's very clear. But he still says, I've got the upper hand here. And he will not back down. He will not roll over for Subaru, who is telling him to surrender. He will not call off the attack on the mansion because that is his upper hand. He has the upper hand there because that is still going to happen. But we see that Subaru has definitely got under Roswaal's skin because he is screaming, you're not even ordinary. You're less than ordinary. And yeah, Subaru is beating Roswaal at his own game. But Roswaal is not taking to it well because he has spent 400 years being the way that he is and building himself up and being the strongest version of himself that he can be. And he has not done this over the course of 400 years just to surrender to Subaru once he brings two people to his side that were unexpected. Like, that's not going to happen. That's so little, especially when Roswaal still has the upper hand. And yeah, we've just got to believe in Emilia at this point. Emilia is going to come through this. She's going to be great. She's going to do a great job. And she will pass all these trials and she will do it with ease. And Roswaal over here is yelling at Subaru about how Emilia is not going to be able to do this. And Subaru, the guy that he is, steps up and says, of course she will. But then there's this also really interesting line of dialogue where Roswaal says that Emilia is from the lineage of the half-elf Witch of Envy. So I'm wondering if that's just because she's a half-elf that he's saying this, or there is a deeper meaning to these words. You know, the fact that she is literally from the same lineage as Roswaal said here, but where does that go? Where does that stop? Because obviously she can't be the half-elf of a half-elf of a half-elf. You know, it can't go down that far. And Subaru declares that he will wipe away Emilia's tears. He will be there for her no matter what during all of this and throughout everything. And he once again calls himself the self-proclaimed knight of Emilia. The shot where it showed their two faces like overlapping each other was super interesting because we saw the passion in each of their faces, but they both have very different outlooks and very different ideals, and they are going head to head with each other, and they are marching towards the end now. They're marching towards the end of this arc, as the episode title said, the beginning of the sanctuary and the beginning of the end. And all that's left then is for Emilia to leave the sanctuary. And we were hoping that Subaru would have made it back there in time, but he did not, and instead Ram is there. And that could be very dangerous because Ram is an agent of Roswaal's, and yeah, what is she going to do with Emilia? I don't know. I'm worried, but yeah, anything could happen in the next episode, and we're going to check it out soon. I apologize for not talking as long as usual. I just kind of had to like wrap this one up quickly because, you know, I'm not going to say it again, but I am really hurting. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you've not done so already. And comment down below letting me know your favorite of these flashback episodes. And yeah, I hope that you're able to have a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.